So, Napheesa Collier today was on Good Morning America, and pretty much we are looking. This is the first time we have heard Phee talking about the CBA negotiations where she hasn't used it to take personal shots at Cathy Engelbert. And by the way, I think in a lot of those scenarios, Cathy Engelbert is absolutely criticizing Cathy. Going after Cathy is absolutely deserved because at the end of the day, it is one of those things where Cathy is Cathy. Cathy is Cathy, and she is not. I'm not gonna say she's a bad commissioner, but she's a bad face to have as a commissioner, and she just pisses off a lot of people. People don't like her, and that's one of the things as commissioner. I actually don't think Adam Silver is a particularly good commissioner. People like Adam Silver. He at least kind of is somewhat personable. Cathy Engelbert isn't at all. But at least we're talking about Phee. Hearing Phee talking about it, and I do think there's going to be a season. I would have been shocked. I've always said it. I'd be shocked if there's not a season. But Phee and Good Morning America, we've been at the table a long time. It's been a little over a year. We're confident we're going to get there. From our side, we're standing strong on what we're asking for, and I feel good that it's going to happen. I don't know. This could be one of two ways. Some people could be saying, the players aren't budging at all, which I genuinely believe the players were not budging. But we've already heard that the players have budged on a lot of things. The players have budged on a lot of things, and again, when it comes down to it, I think when it's all said and done, the players will get what they want if and only if the league flat out refuses to open the books, to let them audit it. I think everyone's talking about, the players getting a 50% rev split of profits, rev share of profits, not just rev share of gross revenue. If they're not doing shady shit with the books, that's not a bad deal for the players, which is what they've been offered. But if they're doing shady shit with the books, obviously it's a bad deal. So it really all comes down to that. It comes down to how much, in terms of the league, is willing to show. But I would be shocked. This is the first time we've heard somebody say, "We're confident we're gonna get a deal." Most positive comment, she actually says negotiations are currently at a standstill. Yeah, of course. If negotiations weren't at a standstill, we'd have a league. I don't think people understand this, where people are like, "Oh, nothing she's saying is positive." It's they're not using the and I quote, a slap to the face. They're not using the word slap to the face. They're not using completely unprofessional nonsense like they've done. And the weirdest thing is that a lot of legacy fans want these players to be as unprofessional as possible. Because at the end of the day, the players trying to get brownie points on social media is not going to get them a CBA. The players figuring out a way that they can get as much money as humanly possible. And I've always said this. I think the players need to have an opt-out as well. When the new TV deal comes in, which is 3 years from now, which is when they can renegotiate the TV deal, the players should be allowed to opt out. The players should be allowed to opt out as soon as that changes, because then when the TV deal comes and there's less of and the operating costs become less of a percentage of total revenue, when the TV deal inevitably gets bigger, you've then got a situation where it's you can then look for a bigger revenue split, because the argument is obviously operating costs are high and are a much higher percentage than at leagues like the NBA and like all these other leagues. So yeah, for me anyway, it's a really interesting one to think about. And I still think the players should push for that. But the fact is that we're literally out there hearing players saying that they think they're going to get it done. We're not getting a season, are we? I don't understand how Phee, who, by the way, Phee is literally one of the... Phee, everything Neka has said points towards there wanting to be a season. Phee has literally used every bit of airtime she has gotten about the CBA to shit on Cathy Engelbert. This is the first time she said anything positive. This is the first time she said something positive. I think the players are going to ideally get what they want. Because at the end of the day, it's funny when a lot of people in the comments are like, "Oh, you don't want the players to make more money." It's like, no. I want to watch a WNBA season. At the end of the day, I want the players to make every cent that they can, but not at the expense of a season. Is that selfish for me? Hell yeah, it is. But I don't care. I don't care. Like, not at the expense of a season. I absolutely want the players to make as much money as possible on and off the court. And I think if there's no season, that players will not make as much money as possible, because there's no season this year. They're going to fold the league. Like, that's it. There's been enough people that have been heavily involved in sports teams that have pretty much said that, like, if they can't come to an agreement now, that they're never going to come to an agreement, and that the league's very likely to fold if there's not a season. So we can be real here. Like, if the WNBA folds, like, for all these players, it's a disaster. It is an absolute disaster. Even the people that run Unrivaled, because I'm not joking when I say this, Unrivaled's first games, I watched them. There was 500 people in the YouTube stream. The game was at 6 p.m. Ireland time. So if you were in mainland Europe, it is 7 to 8 p.m. It was the ideal time for every country in the world outside of America. And obviously there were international games. There were 500 people. If I booted up to watch, I could get more viewers in a watch party for Unrivaled than that. Like, they have their TV deals, but it is going to be scary, the ratings numbers. It is going to be scary. It is going to be scary how low they're going to be. And I've said this plenty of times where I'm like, Paige Bueckers has to save Unrivaled, because I think she's the only player that's good enough and fun enough to watch. And that entire team, because at the end of the day, you've got Paige, Malonga, Cam, Brink, Kate Martin, Ari McDonald, and have I forgot someone else? I'm just blanking. But basically, they have a team of like all the most popular players. So that team, they're playing late in my time. I'm not going to go live for it because, well, I just don't want to. And yeah, anyway, that is pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I think there's going to be a season. They're talking positively about it. NECA has made sure to say we want there to be a season. Caitlin Clark, what she's been saying. And look, I get it. Caitlin Clark's not on the PA. But I'm sorry, Caitlin Clark, Angel Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, those three, and Angel Reese. Those four people, if you guys don't know, those four have more swing than anybody outside of probably Phee, Stewie, Kelsey Plum, and Nneka Nwumike. Why do they have the swing? Because they are solely committed to W. They're not playing in these outside leagues. They are solely committed to WNBA. So they have a lot of swing in these negotiations too. They have a lot of power as those four players. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.